Hi there, it's Sherls here. Thank you for stopping by on my channel. In this video, I want to continue the topic of previous tutorial, embossing with stylus pen. But instead of using cardstock paper or copy paper, we are going to use vellum paper. If you have done parchment craft before, then this is nothing new for you. But if you haven't, then I hope you can learn something new. So these are the things that we are going to make today, or that you can make with this tutorial. These are pretty roses, and I already glued this on my tag for an embellishment. These are really easy, and you just need patience. And there is no real difficult technique on making this, except that don't use too much force. And to make this pretty and elegant craft, you will need a vellum paper. The thicker your paper is, the better, because then the paper won't tear easily. So I have like 100 GSM paper here. And you will also need a stylus pen. This is the one that I got from Dollar Tree, and this is the one that I will be using today. But this one here, the blue ones, are from Pergamano, the Pergamano starter kit, where I first learned about this parchment craft. This one is thicker, a bit thicker than the Dollar Tree one, but like I said, I'm going to use the Dollar Tree one. And I also have a bunch of different stylus thickness that I got from Taiwan. But yeah, that's not what I'm going to use. I'm just going to use something that you might already have and easily accessible to you. Also, like last week, we will need something squishy format for our mat while we are doing the embossing. And this is the squishy mat that came with this parchment starter kit. It's more squishy than mine, so it will work as well, but I like to use this is my squishy mat, which from electronic device I bought. I don't remember what it was. And I also have some book here. This is the starter pattern, the parchment starter kit pattern that came with this kit here, and it has some pattern here. And this is the parchment craft book that I bought, and look at this, it's already like so gorgeous. Yeah, actually I got the idea of embossing cardstock or copy paper with stylus pen from this parchment craft kit. So yeah, this is things that you can make. So if you are interested, you are welcome to go explore more into this craft. But I'm going to tell you, it's really time consuming. The result is really gorgeous for sure, but it just, for me, it's time consuming. Maybe in the future when my kids are older, I will spend more time doing this. And so for this tutorial, I have prepared some pattern for you that you can download from my cloud storage or from my coffee. But there are also more free parchment pattern like the one I showed you here in online. I will put the link of the one that I found in the description box, so you can also go there and check it out. To do this, you will need your vellum paper and the pattern and the format. Put the format on the bottom, and then your pattern and the vellum paper, and put the vellum paper where you want the pattern is, and use your stylus pen to trace the pattern. Again, don't use too much force, just do it gently like you are sketching. And don't worry about the embossing result, whether it will be like very apparent or not. What you want now is just make sure that the pattern here got transferred into the vellum paper. So it's really hard to see when you are using the embossing pen, but if you are not sure which part that you already traced, you can just leave your paper like this, lift it, and you can see the pattern now. I hope you can see it. It's really hard to tell, I know, I'm sorry. Like here, that's the part that I already embossed. In the parchment craft, they will tell you to use the white ink or white gel ink, and you can totally do that as well. Here I've done it, this flower here, I trace it with a white gel ink. This flower I trace it with a white gel ink, and then you can emboss afterward. But like again, like I said, it might not be something that you have, so I'm not going to show you, just telling you that you can do that. I'm going to use tool that you might or most likely have already in your craft area. Or if you don't have this stylus pen and you don't want to buy one, then you can use your ballpoint that's already run out of ink. That's totally usable as well. Yeah, I'm done. So you see, like the lines here is very thin compared to the one here. Then what I'm going to do next is just use my stylus pen again and go back retracing all of these lines to make it more apparent, more clear. So like so, you can see like the more I do it, the more that the lines got so more clear, got clearer. Is that the word? Anyways, don't use too much force. You will rip your vellum paper if you do. One trick that I want to tell you, you can also use this big stylus head to make more like pattern here, like the one here in the middle. If I don't really want to spend a lot of time drawing this petal here, I can just use the big one just to make it, color it white and to give it more depth. Once you are done, you can color the vellum paper. And one suggestion for you, don't be afraid to use your vibrant color. So the butterfly here, this butterfly, I colored this using all this, like I didn't take the yellow one, but this I used this very vibrant color, and look how subtle it looks after I drew it on the vellum paper. It's just like not as bright and like glaring as the color looks in here, but if I color it on the copy paper, just like this, you can see it's like less subtle, less more muted on the vellum paper. And if you think that it's still too bright for you, just flip it, and you see the color is even more muted now. And other pen that you can use to color these are, so this is alcohol marker. I've used my kids' watercolor pen to color the flower here, this yellow part. I also used my highlighter to color this bright neon yellow. So it also works. I have also tried my chalk marker. I think this too, I got it from dollar store as well. It works, but the color is very subtle, very muted. You can barely see the color on some paper. If I put it on this paper here, yeah, you can still kind of tell, but sometimes it just doesn't really show much. And this one, this flower here, is really hard to tell, but I color it. This one here, I use my children's crayons to color this, and it doesn't really show much as well, so I don't really suggest you using the crayon. I haven't tried using the coloring pencils actually, so let's just try it on this one flower and see how it goes. One thing that I want to point about coloring this vellum, don't be afraid to color across the white line, because it won't show. Even if it shows, it's fine. It doesn't really, like, you cannot really tell. See the one here? Let's just color it again. So I color on this white line here, and when I flip it, you can barely tell that I color this the back of this white line. And if it is really bother you, you can just kind of like mute it by gently emboss it again, and it will disappear. So don't be afraid about that. And yeah, the coloring pencil works really well. But after you're done, you might want to make this streak less apparent by rubbing it with your tissue. After I color the blue rose here with the chalk marker, I use my tissue or baby wipe, dry baby wipes here to like wipe across it. So like so. You can, it's still there, you can still see the streak, but if you don't really mind about it, just go ahead. And if you don't like it, then maybe you will need to use your alcohol ink or watercolor watercolor. Before I forget, I remember that I tried using my pencils to trace the pattern and then emboss it, but you can still see the pencil line. If you don't mind, you are welcome to do it. If you don't like it, then I suggest you not to use it. And I think I don't have to mention to you that you will need to cut these flowers apart after you are done, right? I think you know that part. Just really easy. Cut it around the flower shape and use it on your project. And one last thing. This is the embossed card that I made on the previous video. I just decided I want to show you what I made with it. I colored the flower and everything else, and then I stick it on a thick paper, and now I can use this as a journaling card. So that's something. That's another idea for you. There's one tip for you, how to stick this Vellum on your craft. If you have worked with Vellum before, I believe you will know that the Vellum doesn't hide how you glued your Vellum. It will show, like the one here, just put a dot. So if you use glue dot or anything, it will show. You can see the mark, the place where you put the glue on. It's kind of hard to tell now, but let me just smear this. And here, let's see. It's really hard to tell now. You can see like this side is where I put the glue. You can differentiate it from the rest of the Vellum. So what I use to glue this on, and you cannot really tell where I put the glue. It's really easy. I put the glue all over the Vellum. So if you cannot hide it, just show it off. Easy peasy, right? I'll just do like something like this. Just put glue all over it. Just very generous. Happily gluing. It will be easier if you have glue stick, but all my glue stick was taken away by my daughter because that's the glue that I mostly let her use. So I also gave her a little bit of this PVA glue in the small bottle as well, and then I just smear it around across the parchment craft, so you can barely tell which part is not glued, which part is glued. And then I will just stick it on my tag like so, and there we go. It's kind of wrinkly because this is water based, so it would be much better if you use your glue stick. That's a tip for you how to glue this beautiful parchment embellishment, parchment craft into your journal project, scrapbook project, or even make it into a bookmark. I will show you a couple video of my previous craft, what I've done with this type of parchment craft. Happy crafting. Thank you for watching, ladies and gentlemen, maybe. Bye. Until next video.